waking state, Om Shanti, is what we had been discussing briefly. We discussed about the gross body, that is the Sthula sarira, consisting of Indriyas, purpose of Sthula body, which needs food for converting it into energy, needs circulation of blood, circulation of energy for keeping the body warm at a particular temperature. It cannot be too cold, it cannot be too hot, because both will affect adversely in the sensory system. Is why a particular temperature control is necessary. Anywhere any sensory system is supposed to be operated, you will find they define a particular temperature control. Even in the electronic instruments, you will find that the temperature should not go beyond this or below this. If you take your, even a smallest thing, if you take your cameras, which is working electronically, let it be a video camera or another camera, to a seaside where the temperature is different, it will not function. You go to extreme cold, some of them, if it is not designed for that, the normal ones will not function. Otherwise it has to be specially made. Take certain things underwater, certain things will work, certain things will not work. See, if you find everywhere, wherever the sensory system is adopted, wherever sensory system is to be adopted, certain temperature control is required. Why? Because only through that temperature control, the transmission will be proper. Is why the body also needs a particular temperature. When it goes lower than that, it doesn't function properly, or higher than that, doesn't function properly. So in order to keep that temperature in the Sthula sarira, you require energy. So you have to maintain certain inputs for converting them into energy, as energy by itself cannot be consumed by the body. So certain digestive system and other digestive systems are given in order to convert them into energy, so that this energy is transmitted into sensory system, and sensory system is kept perfectly sensitive, yes, in order to absorb whatever is necessary. During old age, when the degeneration takes place, the digestive system starts functioning not at its capacity, lower than that, and all the other systems go less. So you will find the sensory system also doesn't function properly. Certain degenerative diseases, they say it is natural, it has to go off. Why? Because body is not able to transform the Sthula objects into energy, is why this happens. So all these instruments, so it's a great study again. Then it goes to, since from there only it has gone into medical science. you see how small is the portion of medical science when you compare, or science of the study of body, when you compare the whole Vedic science. What are you learning? Learning about the Sthula Sharira, which is the basic of Om. Forget about the whole Vedic science. And that also not Om, it is O, A. Not Om. In A, the one of the minority is gross body. That's what I explained you. So to make you understand that how important it is. It is important, it's not that it's not important. Each and every nail is important in the body, is not. Even though it is so small. But it is important in its position. Nail is not important on the nose. But nail is important in its position. So everything in its position, even though it is small, it is important. But what is the gross body? Is that the gross body is that which is to keep up the sensory system. What is the purpose of the gross body? It's not for anything else. For this Deshendriyas to function, that's all. So to make this Deshendriyas to function, a big instrument like this is necessary. Is why the whole body has been created. Otherwise, what is the necessity of this body? You imagine. You can yourself imagine now. What do we do with the body? What do we do with it? We may be doing so many things. But why are we doing it? That also has to be understood. So each and everything is in order to make your sensory system function. I mean, I'm going at a lower measure. Sensory system function so that this Deshendriyas will function properly, adequately, depending upon the designed capacity to acquire knowledge from the objects. That's all. That is the purpose of this physical body. You are seeing things in order to acquire knowledge from the objects. You are listening things in order to acquire knowledge from the objects. Smelling from knowledge to acquire knowledge from the objects. Tasting, sparsha, touching. This is the purpose. For this purpose, you require the sensory system. Where will the sensory system be implanted, or where it is to be accommodated? It has to be accommodated in a temperature controlled environment. So a unit to control the temperature has to be created. Temperature by way of whatever method. So that unit has been created. So in that unit, you have provided the blood vessels, you have provided this nervous system, you have provided the bones, you have provided the flesh, you have provided all these things in order to create this sensory system to be stationed for acquiring the knowledge from the objects. So, now you see, who is important in the body? The sensory system. The senses. That is why, see how beautiful it is. That's why we always say that behave sensibly, talk sensibly, do things sensibly. You see, everything you say sensibly. Why? Sensory system. It's all meant for sensory system, isn't it? Even the small words we use that. That is nonsense what you are doing. It is not sense. That's not sense, nonsense. Do it sensibly. So for everything, eat sensibly. We say, Sleep sensibly. You see. Everything sensibly, is it not? What for? Sensory system. Now you get it? What is the purpose of Sthula Sharira is not. What is the use of the flesh? What is the use of bones? What is the use of nervous system? What is the use of blood, blood vessels, heart? Pumping of blood, heart is. Hridaya. That physical heart has been misunderstood as the one who is producing love and affection. The one what is pumping blood, how it can be. It's not that. But the sensory system involved with the heart, which produces emotions, is the one which we call it as love, compassion, hatred. All comes. It's not that unit that is there. The unit is there in order to accommodate even the heart, liver, anything is necessary. They're all there only for, ultimately, only for, even though immediately you will find it is pumping blood, it is this one. All meant for making the sensory system function. Otherwise, why heart is required? Why blood is required in the body? Why blood is required? What is blood doing? It is only traveling through the body, is it not? What is the function of the blood? Let us understand. It's only traveling through the body, is it not? It carries what?
Oxygen, nutrition.
That's right. Why it is carrying, or so that it is in a position to carry. It's a liquid, so it carry the nutritions. You carry the medicine. Let's say aushadhi. It's medicine, to keep the body up, to maintain the body, to grow, to make the flesh grow, bones grow, or the sensory system grow, or anything. Plus also to keep the temperature. That's the necessity of the blood. Same way the energy which we do not have, we don't have, they are the nadis, they are transporting energy from out. Cells are there. What are the cells? It's a pipeline, that's all, nothing other. What are the cells? Cells has combined to create a pipeline. They have small units combined together, made a pipeline. To transport either energy, to transport either chemicals, it transport any other things. So ultimately you will find, when you properly analyze, so what I am saying is that, so medical science is about what? Sthula Sharira. You talk to him about emotions, you talk to him about through an injection you create love and affection in somebody. Or he is a terrorist, change his character into a sadhu with an injection. It's not possible, no? Is it possible? Because it doesn't function through the nervous system. The emotion that is functioning is towards there it has gone, there the thought, the department is changed. This is only meant for up to this level. Thoughts cannot be changed by the physical body's function. To certain extent, thoughts can be changed through the function of the body, no doubt about it. If the body is well, your thought level will be different. If the body is not well, then thought will be different. There is no doubt. That is connected with the body. Thoughts connected with the body is separate. Thoughts connected with the karma is separate. So when you go into details like this, what is the quantum or significance of the science, what we call it as a science, or in different areas, whether it is science and technology of making equipments and the instruments and the transport system, or the super jet, electronic jets and things like that, or the ones which are moving to Mars and Moon, or the medical science, or any other science what we are talking about, they are all meant for what? It's a very small part of the the total Vedic science. Can be very well proved, is what I understand. I may be wrong. I stand for correction. It's a very small part of the science, but it is necessary. I don't say it is not necessary, but it is small. That is why Vedas and Vedic science and Vedanta has told that the importance that is given to the Sharira should be to that limit. They say that, somewhere they said, don't give importance to the Sharira doesn't mean that, you see, it's not that don't give importance, you see. Suppose there is a small screw on the panel of that cupboard. Even without one screw it will all function, but one screw without one screw it has its own minus point. It will create some problem at some point. So even though it is small, it is necessary, but not that whole almirah is or the whole cupboard is maintained only to maintain that one screw. Is it not? Screw is important. But the cupboard is not kept for keeping up the screw. I will not change the cupboard for maintaining the screw, but I will change the screw for maintaining the cupboard. So if you want, you change the Sharira, even though it is simple, appearing to be simple. Have we gone any time that so deep into our Sharira and purpose of Sharira? No, I don't think. So is it not necessary to know why do we have this Sharira? So they said in Vedanta, you are living is not to maintain the Sharira is to maintain the living. That's why there is a proverb, somebody lives to eat, somebody eats to live. Small, no, very small. Big word. It's a big word. Somebody eats to live, somebody lives to eat. That's exactly what I have to be taught. So same way the Sharira is meant for living, not living is meant for Sharira. The life can be there, even the Sharira is not there. So in order to protect the life and living, that means it's small. I'm not going to that extent even. Here when I talk about Sharira, even I'm talking about this Sthula Sharira and the waking state. I'm connecting only here. When you go into other things, I think then you will feel very small. Even now we are feeling small. If we go grosser on this, that's why it's gross body, If you go grosser on this, you will find much smaller than this. Insignificant. We will come to a conclusion. The Sharira is insignificant, is what the Maharishis and Tapasvis have proved. Forget about 10 told. They did not eat, they did not maintain Sharira, but Sharira is still there with them. But they were tapasvis and jnanis who sat on difficult terrains and temperatures and difficult conditions and attained absolute jnanam, and with that jnanam the Sharira has been maintained. The Sharira is still there. Sharira is still there. Sharira has been commanded to be there according to the requirement based on the jnanam. So the jnanam is the one which for them the controlling part of the Sharira. But whereas a person who is not a jnani, who has not attained the jnanam, in order to attain the jnanam, this Sharira is necessary. And this Sharira, in order to attain the jnanam, then when we go into detail, a digestion of because it is the Sthula Sharira, the Prakriti has created Sthula Ahara. starting from grass, leaves, fruits and fruits, okay, alas, even vegetable is a fruit. Fruits. They all have been created. These are all what? Sthula ahara. When the grass is taken, that grass as it is doesn't give an energy. So it has to be eaten, it has to be digested by some system. It has to be digested. When it is digested from the grass, from the Sthula sarira of the grass, the energy contained in the grass, whatever little bit is that what is necessary for the body is taken, and the pulp, that what is not necessary is taken out as, is it not? From the grass or from the leaf, from the fruit. The whole thing is not consumed by you. Yes. From the fruit, from the vegetable, from the leaf, from the root, from the stem, from the root. A portion, that means only that what is necessary for converting them into, everything cannot be converted into energy because there are so many things. As we have got Sharira to preserve the energy, the Sthula Ahara also has got a body in order to preserve the energy in that. So if the energy is 2% in that, the 98% what you are seeing in that fruit, just for example, is Sthulata, which is not necessary, which is consisting of Panchabhutas, Panchendriyas or Deshendriyas or Panchapranas and everything all together, this 98%. And this 100% when you take, the 2% energy is converted. We have got so we have to create an instrument in order to draw that energy from that Sthula Ahara. So a digestive system has been created so that 2% can be drawn from that. Then we have to remove the waste also, so that pulp which is not necessary, that which is Panchabhutas or Panchendriyas, Panchapranas and other things are removed and they get merged into the tattvas. Is why the name biograding has come. So not biograded things. Plastic is not biograded. Whereas the other things which is from vegetation, whatever you have created is biograding. Is there. Biologically biograded, biologically digested and removed. Now in the natural process, it's called biograded, which can be converted into the Buddhas again, which can be converted into the Prakriti once again back. Is that why the name itself biology. Biograding has come. So what is that you have derived it from there? 2% you have derived the energy from that system, and that 2% is the one which is you are like that. You consume, you derive 100% or 80% or 70% energy into your system. With that energy, you utilize to maintain your Sharira for producing. That instrument has to be protected, so you maintain your Sharira with that energy to have the capacity to convert the energy, convert the Sthula Bhava into Sukshma Bhava of energy, and through that energy, what is the use of that energy? Not for developing muscles, but it is developed. So muscles get developed. Okay. But what for? To make the sensory system function in the proper sense. In the sense, that is what we have told. Last few classes I had been talking about that, the proper sense only. The sensory system, that means Panchendriyas, Deshendriyas, are supposed to draw whatever the knowledge from the object that is necessary. For what? For a conclusive knowledge of the superconsciousness, which the Atma had been constantly transmitting and telling the sensory system, including the sensory system, all the systems, including the sensory systems, that it is the purity that what you are supposed to arrive at through this experimental experience so that you are in a position to transform yourself into that highest form of energy from consuming the smallest form of energy from the Sthulata, converting the smallest form of energy. I'm saying smallest is a wrong word to use, but just for the purpose of explaining, small and big is not there. Energy is energy. Okay. The smallest form of energy converting that smallest form of energy for the purpose of identifying with the highest form of energy in the universe is why you got all these facilities. What's the purpose of this? Sharira, mana, intellect, antakarna, antaratma, atma, all sorts of names, you bifurcation, they are all divisions, When you look into things, you won't find any of this. They are all languages for making us understand the gradation and degradation, upgradation of our progress on the transformation of energy into the highest consciousness. Because the highest consciousness is the highest form of the energy. What is highest consciousness? Highest consciousness is nothing but highest form of energy, that's all. It's an energy. That's why we say it is invisible. It cannot be seen, there is no taste, there is no swad, there is no shabda, there is no color, there is no energy, doesn't have any of this. Now you can say that. Why God is like that? God is nirakara. Any sort of akara. Shabda is also an akara. So, Bhagavan, Ishvara is identified as nirakara. The highest form of energy is nirakara, from where all the forms can be created. So from nirakarata only, akaratva can be created. From that energy, highest form of energy only, all the small forms of energies can be created. From where the vegetation has come, from where the human being has come, from where the tree has come, from where the plants and animals have come, from where the water has come, from where the air has come, from where the sky has come. Everything is from that energy. You see, that's why Nirakaratva. So Nirakara is Ishvara. That's scientifically explained when people want to know scientifically. Now what is that Nirakaratva? So that Nirakaratva, that energy, does it have intelligence? If somebody asks. If that is energy, does it have intelligence? No. Is it not a foolish question to ask? It is definitely. If a small energy that I am deriving from the grass into me, if I have got the knowledge of so much, that superconscious, which is the ultimate of energy, doesn't it have knowledge? You having so much of knowledge, I don't know what is the amount of knowledge each one has got. I cannot measure it, or I don't find, at least I have not seen anywhere documented what is the knowledge available in a human being. So if that is the quantity of knowledge in a human being available, what should be the knowledge available in the higher consciousness, superconsciousness, which is called a nirakara? If an akara has got so much of knowledge, how much should be the nirakara? Energy should be there and knowledge should be there. From that knowledge only, all these, what is necessary for derive? What are these? They are necessary for deriving the knowledge. Why they have to? Why I am saying all this? I'm just going into. Probably I am trying to explain myself. Probably just thinking loud. Here it has been told that Atma constantly. This is a question. The Atma constantly producing the knowledge into the Sthula Sharira and the waking state, that means in the sensory system and all, constantly that pure Jnanam is being transmitted. And I said I had been talking about this only in last few classes, that again this Sthula Sharira and the waking state and any other state are supposed to transform itself, produce itself the same kind of knowledge or energy, that which is palatable and comprising of the same ingredients of the knowledge that is produced by the Atma, so that it can merge with the Atma, so it is not identified as a separate unit but as a same unit. So in order to have the same unit, same kind of knowledge has to be replenished, same kind of energy has to be replenished, so that this replenished energy will not look as an addition but one with the Atma. Is what I have explained. Am I right? So in order to do that, that energy that I am drawing from the grass and the fruit should be the same as the, or should be transformed into the same quality as the energy of the super consciousness. Then only this can be merged with that super consciousness. Is it not? So that is why I have been talking about all this. So that's why today I am talking about this, is that the energy, that what is the use of Sthula Sharira? What is the use of a grass in the world? To transform into Brahman. Why the grass has come? To transform into Brahman. What you have done? You have taken the grass, you have consumed it, you are transformed into energy. This energy you are transformed into knowledge. That knowledge you are transformed into the intellect. That intellect has been transformed into the Antakarana and the Antaratma, and the Atma into Paramatma, and Paramatma into the Brahman. Grass has been converted into Brahman. Okay. You have not eaten the grass. Right? You have not eaten the grass. The grass grew up, lived for some time, and during the process it gets destroyed. We call it as it gets destroyed into or disintegrated into the particular those units, Panchabhutas, Panchendriyas, Panchapranas and other things. So that consciousness that is there in the grass, that consciousness is there. That consciousness that is there in the grass to grow, to live and to die, even to die, that consciousness is necessary. To die, that consciousness, after the death of that grass, where is gone? It's gone to Brahman. And during this process, the grass has never acquired any Papa karmas, knowledge of the Papa. No Papa karmas, no negative energy has been acquired. Why? Because he utilized it only for growing the grass and dying the grass, that's all. Is it not? During this process, experimental experience by the grass is nothing but, they also have got an experimental experience. I am just telling you this example of grass to compare with us, you see. So that grass which is grown there, its experimental experience is what? Its experimental experience has been designed by the super consciousness or higher consciousness. Just grow. If somebody requires it, they will take you and eat and convert you into energy and utilize it. In case nobody takes you, you just come back to me and I will bring you back again. That's all. So he is programmed. The grass is programmed. So grass has got sensory system. Grass has got life. Grass grows. Grass behaves. Grass dies. So the Sthula Bhava of the grass has been merged with the gross body, what is the Panchabhutas and Panchendriyas and Panchapranas. And the prana that is there in that. If other things are disintegrated into its own properties, so the prana also gets disintegrated into the Brahman. Why it is Brahman for grass and why not for us, the Brahman? We have acquired karma bhalas. Grass has not acquired any karma during the process. It just did the karma, that's all. It did not derive karma phala. But we lived on karma phala, even though we also do the karma, we in the sense people who die and take rebirth. They lived with the karma, did the karma and lived with the karma phala, whereas the grasses did the karma, did not live on karma phala, did a natural death, we called it. What is that? Natural death. Natural death is what? According to nature, after certain time, if that particular unit is not utilized, this has to be demolished and new unit has to come. So in order to bring the new unit, the prana in the grass has been transmitted into the Brahman. Now when it is merged with the Brahman, having not acquired any karma phalas, remember this, having not acquired any karma phalas by the grass, when it is merging with the Brahman, after merging, this particular consciousness, that which has gone from the grass, will not be identified as the prana which has come from the grass in the Brahman. Yes. Can it be identified? No. It's one with that, no? Which one will be identified? The one which has got something other than the prana's qualities will be identified as a different prana and has to come back in order to purify is why the human being's rebirth. Now, that prana which has gone from the grass also may be one of the portions that has been allotted for a human body when it has come from Brahman. Now there is nothing identified as grass prana. Like when you pour water, a glass of water in the ocean, that particular glass of water is not identified as that particular glass of water. It's all ocean only. Now next time, if a fish wants to drink water from the ocean, this glass of water what you have poured is not necessary that has to be returned to you only. It can be taken by anybody. It can be a fish, it can be a lion, it can be a human being, it can be somebody, it can be used in a machine. That prana can be used by anything. Same way, after the prana joins with the Brahman, it becomes one Brahman. So anything that is born, maybe that is born as a king, that is born as a queen, that grass, including the grass. Okay. You understood what I am trying to tell? I mean, just trying to explain. So, it cannot be identified, oh, the grass prana has come from the grass only, so Brahman will select that and put back again only for making the grass. No, it's not that. Because ingredient is one, prana and jnana. Whether it is human being or grass, it's all the same. The same way our prana also, the same thing happens to us also. When it goes and merges with the Brahman, it is utilized for, it's a recirculating process. That's all. Everything is a recirculating. So it should be biodegradable. When you do not execute your karmas in the right manner, what happens? You are brought back into the same in order to make yourself that what is palatable to the Atma is the reason why I explained that Atma, when it is projecting the jnanam constantly to the indriyas and to the Sthula Sharira and the waking state, they are supposed to give back, or result of that karma should be that which is of the same nature of that energy, that jnanam which has been produced by the Atma, then only it becomes one with the Atma, otherwise it doesn't become one with the Atma, remains as separate. Is why a rebirth has to be done, a rebirth is taken place, or another Sthula Sharira has to be formed in order to again make the sensory system function based on the same process, which is the Stulata. At the base root, grassroot level, we call it at base level, and again create that and find out a method how to release this Sthulata into Sukshmata, transform this Sthulata into Sukshmata. That is the ultimate, and it is necessary. That's what we are all trying. That is why the Sharira is not permanent. It has to die. Nothing that is object, no object is permanent. Every object has to die. Yes, every object has to die. Why? Because it is because of this. No knowledge is dying, is it not? Is there anywhere it is written? Knowledge dies? No. See, the knowledge which is there 20,000 years ago or 50,000 years, I don't know. 50,000 years ago, today we are talking the same thing. Knowledge has not died. It's the same knowledge. From the inception, it is the same knowledge. Till the time we reach that knowledgeable level, this Sthulata in our Sthula Sharira will not move. Either this Sharira, you identify Sharira as this and that, so it's okay, that's a different thing. Again, we are coming to further Sthulata, that's all. So this Sharira or another Sharira, this sensory, in order to make the sensory system, to make the transformation of that energy, to make the transformation of that karma bala, into that consciousness and the super consciousness, again the sensory system has to function. That sensory system doesn't identify which Sharira I have to have. It has to have a Sharira, that's all, which produces temperature, energy, transforms the energy from the Sthulata and make me as a sensory system function in order to make the right senses to transform that ignorance into knowledge. That is why Vedanta said Sharira is not important. You understand? Not that. So people who are ignorant, they say, oh, what is this Vedanta saying? Sharira is not important. It's not important to me. You see? For us it is very important. I have to eat, I have to walk, I have to do this, I have to do karma. Sharira is not important or what? He didn't mean that. So when I said about this, when you compare this Sharira, medical science, science of the neurological system, science of the heart, science of the liver, high science of how small it is compared to the system of the higher transformation of the higher consciousness and Brahman, has to be understood. Yes, is it not? If this is not understood, how do we understand where we are supposed to go? So that's why he said, who am I? Where are you going? There are so many people have written so many things. Another Swamiji has written, where are you going? He said, where am I? And who am I? Well, many words have been, all results into one. All these questions, answer is only one, to Brahman. That's all. If you answer that, it answers everything. So Brahman is what? Brahman is consisting of all this, starting from the grass, to the liver, to this heart, to the blood, to the temperature, to the sensory system, to the memory system, to the higher consciousness. Everything is Brahman. Brahman Sarvamayam. Sarvam Brahmamayam. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahmam. In everything there is Brahman. In every Shabda there is Brahman. There is consciousness in this. Otherwise Shabda cannot be produced. There is consciousness in this. There is knowledge in this. There is jnanam in this. Not jnanam of the meaning of the Shabda I am talking about. To make that Shabda there is, we have talked about this earlier also. That praana that is necessary, that is there in the Shabda is the one which is making the Shabda as Shabda. That's what Bhagavan said, I am everywhere. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan said, I am everywhere. I am in the nectar, I am in the poison. naturally. I am in the Shabda, I am in the vision, I am in the sound, I am in that, I am in this, I am in this. What does it mean? Brahman is everywhere. That's what is Brahman. Otherwise, how can you produce sound? Even if you have produced a sound, how can you listen? How there is a Shabda coming from there? How these tarangas are coming there? How the transformation takes place? How transmission takes place? Everything when you consider, it's all Brahman. So without that consciousness, or without that Brahman, without that knowledge, without that jnana, without those, nothing is possible. So what is our aim? Our aim is not to remain in the Sthula bhava, or it will not be allowed even if you want. No, Bhagavan, I don't want to know higher consciousness. I don't want to become the super consciousness. Okay? And I don't want to know anything. Forget about me. Let me remain safe. He said, if you do not want to do anything, I will not let you live in me. He will say. It's not your choice. Do you have a choice? No. But Brahman has a choice. Is it not? So if you do not want to do anything, I will demolish you. Forget. Don't want to do anything. Forget, don't want to do anything. Who doesn't want to do anything? Your present status of ignorant knowledge doesn't want to do anything. So let me destroy you and make you a part of knowledge. Come back again to know the knowledge. If something, a knife is rusted, anti-rust has to be applied on that. Then bring a grinding wheel and sharpen it. The same knife, which was blunt, which was rusted, has become a sharp knife. The same ignorant person has to be, anti-rust has to be put on that and destroy the rust. With a grinding wheel, sharpen it, has become knowledge. So that ignorant, who is not wanting to live, that ignorance or the ahankara, the ignorance in the ahankara doesn't want to live. Fine. If that ignorance in the ahankara doesn't want to live, let me demolish it and make that ahankara jnanam. That's what you do. So you have no choice. Yes. So everything has to be Brahman only. You understand? So we cannot opt for it. It's not an option. It's not an option, it is not a compulsion. Neither it's an option nor it's a compulsion, it is a way. It is like that. It has to be like that. That's all. So the gross body, now you understand. So that gross body, that's why we say this body is only a dwelling in order to dwell the praana, Ishvara in it. It's only a dwelling. It's only a dwelling. Dwelling can be rebuilt. So this gross body, which is meant for accommodating the sensory system, which is meant for acquiring knowledge from the objects. All other things are a supportive system for this sensory system in order to acquire the knowledge. What is the sensory system I am talking about? The sensory system, that which is acquiring knowledge from the objects or experiencing the objects, and from that experience deriving the knowledge. It's called getting knowledge from the objects. And ultimately contemplating and identifying that it's all same Brahman. So that gross body and having that gross body, the energy that has been provided in the mind, which is controlling the gross body, which is controlling the nervous system, which is controlling the sensory system in the body. who creates the thoughts and results of thoughts and things like that, which is a mana. That mana is the one which has to be kept always alert, conscious, alert, waking state. Always alert, waking state. That this sensory system which has been created, meant for acquiring knowledge from the object, should not create any mistake. Because one mistake can derail the whole process, and putting back into the track is a very difficult task. It's not easy. The track has been laid. It has to move on the track. Derailment can happen within a fraction of a second by one mistake of the sensory system. But to put back that, how much of karmas have to be done? There is a track here. It has gone derailed. Now, crane has to be brought. It has to be lifted. Put another track, or the wheels have been damaged. Put another wheel. Or if it is too much, then you have to make another track. Yes. Through that track, gradually come back and join in this track. Oh, so many adjustments have to be done, so many work has to be done. Now what happened? The whole process has delayed. Instead of going straight in the track, the whole one derailment has caused the total damages. Damage to the gross body, damage to gross system, the nervous system, damages to the sensory system, damage to the knowledge that is supposed to be deriving by that system. Instead of that, it has to stall that deriving the knowledge from the objects and has to find out how to come back to the track again. Forget about knowledge of objects. It has to derive a method how to come back to the track again. First that has to be done. So till then, all the acquiring knowledge is stopped. Finished. Only coming back to the track again can be done. That's why they say there has to be somebody to lead you to the track. And when somebody is leading you through the track, don't underestimate that. Just because he is in the front walking through the track, you are sure, just walk through that track. Even though you may be finding tracks on both the sides, you should remember they are parallel tracks to this. There is no interconnection between this track and that track. But many of them, they don't think that. They see there is also another track, here is also another track. Why not? The same thing. Let me change. The moment you want to change the track, there's a derailment because there's no connection. So when a derailment has taken place, now everything has come to standstill. Now you have to come back to the track again, follow the track again. How is the system? Discipline. That's what is called discipline. If it is not through this process of discipline, the derailment will take place. That's what is called, what is that? Dharma. That discipline is called dharma. When you walk through that dharma, that derailment doesn't take place to the Atma. Otherwise the same thing happens. So that's called, God, be alert. Why one should be alert? To be alert, not to. Be alert. See the track. This is it. No problem. See the track there, see the track here, but see it properly. What's that properly? That they are parallel tracks going there only. There is no interlink, and it's not necessary to have interlink. You see, you can see that it is parallel. This is also parallel. So follow that track. Waking state, alertness or consciousness. No? Be alert, be awake, be conscious of what you are doing, we say. Do things consciously, doing things consciously. That doing things with conscious in the sense, doing things consciously in the sense, the waking state should have the discipline, as we have explained. What is the discipline now? We have explained. We have to have the dharmic way. Through that dharmic way, if you follow the path, even though in between you can look here and there and see the parallel tracks, no problem, absolutely. So many things are going through that track also. So many tracks going through this track also. Fine, so you understand that every track is meant for moving on. Whoever has been put into that track, they are moving on that track, that's all. So no interconnections and no interclashes on that, so as to move on the same track throughout. Choose the track what is necessary from the beginning. Choose the track. Otherwise, go back, choose another track. No problem. But you have to have another Janma for that. Choose. But you should remember, follow that, the right track. When you follow that right track, which is known as the waking state, which is told as the conscious state, waking state in the sense again, the sensory system should be disciplined. That means dharma has to be dharma. Sensory system should know, why am I supposed to derive knowledges from the object is meant for the sthulata, and in the sthula bhava or the consciousness in the sthula bhava, that which is there has got a lot of ignorance in that. That ignorance has to be erased with the knowledge that I am deriving from the object. The knowledge that I am deriving from the object should be the catalyst for going into that ignorance, erase that ignorance, convert it into knowledge. Or superimpose and convert it into knowledge is the purpose why I am doing experimental experience in this Janma. That ignorance which is there in my thought, it is there in my memory, which is in my thought, which has been the cause, the karana sarira, karana for my birth in this Janma. This new sensory system I have got, the new experimental experience I am deriving from the objects is meant for removing that cause and make merging with the Atma is the purpose, should be known to the sensory system, is called dharma, is called dharmic way of living. This dharmic way of living, probably naturally one may get it, or somebody may get it, somebody may not get it. So one should have the guidance of the jnanam. That's why even Arjuna, associated with the Lord Krishna, has to have ultimately the upadesha from Lord to transform his consciousness into the true sense of sensory object. So he was supposed to derive the knowledge through the object, knowledge from the object through his sensory system by having a war with Kauravas, so that his consciousness should identify the removal of the adharmam. Through dharmam is important. This lesson has to be known, this experimental experience. He has to experiment it and experience, not that by telling by Krishna that adharma can be removed by dharma, by one sentence, if one can be aware of it, but one has to experience it. Arjuna needed to experience it. Just listening Bhagavan is not good enough. You have to execute it, contemplate it, understand it. So the contemplation is that what is called war. What is war? That Arjuna killing Karna is his waking state. The consciousness in the waking state, which is stationary in the ignorance, has to be erased by the sensory system acquiring the knowledge from the object at the present Janma, present status, should be superimposed on that ignorance or erasing that ignorance and create the true knowledge and establish that knowledge of this is called dharmam. Once it is known, that is merged with the moment this is understood, it's merged with the Atma. Finished. It's not kept pending, to be dispatched afterwards. No. The moment water started boiling, it becomes steam. You don't need any other instrument in order to transport it to somewhere, is it not? Same way, the moment adharmam is identified and dharma has been replenished in the adharma, it is merged with the Atma. Finished. The karma is finished. Over. See how the karma is exhausted? Karma is not exhausted physically by you. This is how it is exhausting. See, by executing that karma, the papa karma is removed. Punya karma, that may we call it as punya. There is nothing called punya and papa. I mean, the one karma is finished and that is exhausted with the Atma. Is how the waking state functions. Got it? The whole Bhagavad Gita explained by Bhagavan Krishna to Arjuna is only to make his waking state perfect. Once the waking state has become perfect, the merging has taken place through the process and then he transformed into the next status. He goes to that the Hiranyagarbha, next status is Hiranyagarbha, then goes to Brahman. So initially, this is how the status of the waking state and the gross body. Am I clear? So this instrument, it's only briefly I have explained you. Now you know it. Now if we want to hair split it further, we can keep on continue explanation of small, splitting up of that and go for pages, no doubt. I don't think it is necessary. Hope you have got it to the, at least, now you can multiply it. Now you can contemplate it and multiply it, what you want. I gave you the way, path towards that. Is it right? Okay. Or if you have got something, you can ask, you can talk to me and I will explain further. No doubt about it. So, the waking state, this is called the waking state. This is called the alertness. This is called the waking state. That waking state is called dharma. When you don't have, now let me also talk about what is adharmam then. If that waking state is not synchronized with the sensory system and conscious about the need and necessity of a particular karma to be executed by the experiencing or experimental experience of acquiring knowledge from the object. Yes, is not understood properly. He does the experimental experience, acquire the knowledge, that which is not transferable or transformable to the Atma becomes Papa Karma and that becomes Adharma. Is it correct? Clear? Got it? That's Adharma. And that Adharma, even though you were in the waking state, but you were not conscious of the waking state, you are not alert in the waking state because of non-alertness and non-consciousness, unconsciousness. Let me see. You execute the same because waking state will execute certain karmas. It cannot be idle. Sensory system will keep on executing karmas. You cannot stop it. So, that's why I said always alert, so that the sensory system doesn't go here and there. Utilize the sensory system only for acquiring that knowledge. But in this case, what happens? When alertness is not there, and the consciousness is not proper, one is unconscious, or diversified consciousnesses are there, or attractions and attachments to the object becomes the importance, not deriving the knowledge. When the objective attraction and attach become important than deriving the knowledge out of it, then what happens? There is a split. Consciousness becomes into, in a doubtful stage. Then an indiscipline takes place in that. Then the intelligence will intrude in that and will decide which one to be done. So intelligence invariably will choose for attraction and attachment, not for deriving the knowledge out of the objects. And derive knowledge through attachment and attractions. It will derive knowledge. Derive knowledge through attachment and attractions, that which is not transformable to the Atma will become Papa Karma, and that is an attachment. It cannot create layam, cannot have merging capacity. It is called adharma. Is it clear now? That adharma is automatically, if you don't do dharma, adharma happens. This is what I am trying to tell you. Because it keeps on functioning. So you have to be conscious. That's why Jagte raho, alert. Be alert, it is. Otherwise, this will go towards that. Now you have no control over it. You don't have any control over it, because karma keep on happening. Mind keep on thinking. It keeps on instructing sensory system. Sensory system keeps on experimental experiencing. None of them can stop. You can only direct them. Nothing can be stopped. You can only direct them. That capacity has been given for alertness. Is it not beautiful? Do you understand why we commit mistakes now? We commit mistakes because we give importance to, even though we are supposed to derive knowledge from the objects, we create an attachment attraction towards that, through emotions. And when it happens, the intelligence will intrude in that, and then will act as the alertness, will act as the consciousness, and you will misunderstand. He comes in disguise. Like that fellow Indra. That's why Indra is always like that. Indra is like that here also. He'll come in disguise and tell you this is what is the knowledge that you are supposed to derive, and you derive, and ultimately you say that I have derived that knowledge, and finally you find that oh 3 times. Not om, oh, finished. Next Janma again to say that oh. Is it right? Okay, that is called the waking state, and dharmam and adharmam. Waking state is meant for doing dharmam only. That's why jagrita, jagna, jagat, jayate iti jagat. That which will move, which is moving and which will go away. Jayate iti jagat. Jagat is that which will move. So, Jagra is that alertness. Alertness is not only for one. Jayate iti jagat. That means it's keep on moving. Charate iti jagat. That which is keeping on moving. Since it keeps on moving, my alertness, my waking state should be very, very steady and careful. To watch a moving vehicle, you have to be very alert, is it not? Be alert. See, boats are there. Be alert while crossing the road. Fast moving vehicles. To be very alert. See. So, one mistake, one attraction. Oh, the car is coming very fast. Which is this? Oh, this is the Porsche car is coming. Oh, beautiful car. By the time you say it's beautiful, the intelligence will work to understand the experimental experience. It's ran over you. Finished. You acquired the knowledge of dying, not understanding the car. For that you have to be alert and keep aside and look at it. Okay, experimental experience of that has been derived. Right. Something like that. But what we happen? We involve in the object. That's why that's called the attachment and attraction. What is attachment and attraction? We get involved in it. It's called attachment and attraction. So they said, Sakshi Bhava, Atma is Sakshi Bhava. What is the nature of Atma? Sakshi Bhava. So what should be your experience that you are deriving the knowledge out of the objects? Should have Sakshi Bhava. As Sakshi Bhava, you have to derive the knowledge. This Atma being Sakshi Bhava and have derived the knowledge, sensory system being Sakshi Bhava have derived the knowledge, is compatible to Atma. If I involve, you involve with the emotions, intellectual center, ahankara. Now from there it has to come back again to the sensory system, grasp, energy, and then come back to this. It's called dharmam and adharmam. So alertness and non-alertness. If some mistake in the alertness, how is it possible? Somebody might listen to it, oh, always, how it can be. We get worried about it. Don't get worried. That's why it is known as discipline. It's known as discipline. A person living in an ashram need not be told. Only in the first week he has to be told, you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. From the second week, his system will automatically get up 4 in the morning, is it not? Is it to be told every day? No. Now what is a discipline? Discipline is the waking state is what? Or the consciousness is what? Just becomes a habit. That's all. When one is alert, not that everything one has to learn to be alert. If you know the alertness, if you know the track of the alertness, if you know the track of dharmam, you will be dharmic everywhere. If you are known the tactics of alertness, you will be alert everywhere. Is it not? Is it necessary to be learning alertness from each and every object? No. Just learn the alertness. Yes. In order to learn the discipline, be a disciple, they said. In order to learn the discipline, one has to be a disciple. The one which is disciplined is disciple. Discipline is dharma. This is true and this is right. This is what I follow. Okay. Once that is done, automatically the other systems, everything will function according to that. Now, it's not necessary that each and every time that discipline has to be created. Discipline becomes a characteristics of the sensory system. What is that happens? The knowledge that has been derived by the discipline or by the dharma, the sensory system has learned this only I am supposed to do. So sensory system will look for knowledge in the object, not for attachment and attraction. If the sensory system has not been directed for acquiring knowledge alone from the object, it will have options for attachment and attraction and involvement, non-involvement. Is where the adharma takes place. Got it now? How to do that? Is it difficult? It's not difficult. It's not a big thing. Not having discipline is a big problem. Because every object you experience will be different. Because every time you have a different alertness and different function. Whereas in this, every time you have a standardized function. Acquiring knowledge from the object, not getting involved in it. Sakshi Bhava will automatically come. It is not necessary that every instance, every karma, one has to learn that. No. Once you learn it, it applies to all. But whereas in indiscipline or adharma, every time it changes. That's why one who is doing adharma, he has to find out 1,000 ways to implement it. Is it not? Kauravas have to first give poison, then have to make wax house, then have to send them out to the forest, then have to fight with them, then has to have a war with them, then have to get killed. See, he has to find out hundreds of ways and means each and every time in order to create the problem. Whereas dharma, always one. Whether it is war, whether it is poison, whether it is wax house, whether it is adharma, whether it is dharma, always I am static with Lord. You understood now? Same way the sensory system, when it is disciplined, it doesn't have any problem. So sensory system has to be disciplined, is why discipleship, is why upasana, is why nididhyasana, is why learning scriptures, listening, shravana, manana, all those things are because of making your knowledge, alertness, waking state. In the waking state, the gross body, which is consisting of the nervous system and neurological system, nervous system, or which is the sensory system or the Deshendriyas, which will be directed constantly to dharmic way, only to experience the object from the object, but not getting involved into the object, only the experience of the object. So that which can be palatable, then only one can understand that this object and that object is all same. Object is object, and that becomes the, when I know the object is only object, there is nothing different from object to object, it becomes subjective experience. When it becomes subjective experience, that is why we said selfishness and selflessness, aloneness and loneliness. In absence of the one who is having involved in the objective experience, with the object, involved in the objective experience, with emotions, attachment and attractions, he has what? Loneliness, if that is not happening. If he has understood all the objects are same, and subjective is important, he has got aloneness. I am, what is aloneness? Aham Brahmasmi. Other than me, there is nothing. Other than the Brahman, there is nothing else. It's called aloneness. I alone is the fact. Brahman alone is the truth. This is called aloneness. So, it's also connected with that. This is called the waking state. And I'm concluding the waking state, and I'm trying to conclude, but so new things are coming, so I'm interested to, maybe I'm interested to know more about it. When I'm talking, I'm knowing myself. Not telling you, I'm telling me. You might be knowing more or different. It's called the waking state and the gross body. So this waking state and the gross body, which has these characteristics, is called the Vishwa. So that consciousness or the Atman, that which is, or the knowledge or the jnanam, which is the Atman, which has got the true jnanam, which is the absolute jnanam, which has got the absolute jnanam, when that jnanam, that Atman with the jnanam identifies with this, with who? With which? With this gross body, who has known, identified dharmam, that I, the gross body, is only my sensory system, Pandashendriyas, nothing other than that. Yes, this Atman, who is I'm repeating, projecting the pure knowledge. When identified with that gross body, who identifies that I am the pure consciousness, I am that's the Shendriyas, who are identifying, who is identifying only the jnanam, deriving jnanam from the objects without getting involved, identifying with that gross body, and identifying with the waking state, who is dharmically executing that, as waking state as it, alertness as it, dharmically executing that, always alert. That who has transformed its senses, its jnanam, its thoughts, its implications, its bodha and buddhi. That's what is called Buddha has attained the bodha. Bodha is that. What is the bodham? Awakening. What is that bodham? Consciousness. What is that bodham? Awakening. Awakening in the sense that who has got the waking state identified is called awakening. Buddha, after so many meditations, what he has understood? That the true waking state has been understood. Awakening has taken place. So, that waking state, the one Atma who identifies himself with that waking state, with that gross body, is called Vishwam. Is it clear? Not the gross body who understood my flesh and bones as me. My heart is the one who is creating love and affection. If heart is not there, love is not there. If heart is not there, hatred is also not there. That body, Atma doesn't identify with that body. No, it cannot. Because it's separate. Its nature is separate. Its dharma is separate. Its discipline is separate. Its quality is separate. How can it merge with that? Layam cannot happen. So that Atman which is identifying itself with that gross body which we have explained, and that alertness or the waking state that we have explained. Jagte raho, jagrati, jagrata avastha. Always in the jagrata avastha. Any illusion come, any maya come, anybody come and tell anything, anybody come and show anything, any magic in front of it. Anybody gives any sort of inspirations. You don't get attracted to that because you know what is the fact. Why do we get attracted to such things? Why? Because we have ignorance. We want to derive jnanam out of it, thinking that that is truth. Is why we get attracted to it. But that is not jnana. So that is why basically our system has to be the waking state, and the gross body has to be taught the discipline of dharma. So it walks on dharma. And it identifies dharma in each and everything. It identifies dharma in each and everything. The one which is adharmi, he identifies adharma in each and everything. Is why a small story I used to tell in Reiki classes, that one adharmi, Duryodhan, was sent, and then Yudhishthira was sent around the world to go back and come and ask, experience everything, and came and asked. Yudhishthira said, I could not find any adharma in the world, and Yudhishthira said, I could not find any adharma in the world. Duryodhana came back and told, I found only adharma in the world everywhere. That what you look for, you see it, you have it. You see, this matches with this now. I'm just comparing with all. See, everything has been taken from the Vedic science, is what I'm trying to do. So when you see for adharmam, you see only adharmam, you will be getting attached to adharmam, and you will say that, oh, adharmam is the dharmam. What is it seeing? Seeing is that the discipline that you are teaching or encouraging your panchendriyas in the finished stages, where the sensory system is concerned, which is against the principle of the reflection that is created by the Atma, is why one has to struggle to do adharma. And one has to suffer because of adharma. Suffering not physically, suffering in the sense taking papa karma, so number of janmas and things like that. That's what I mean by suffering. So he's called that. So the Vishwam is that which the Atman identifies with, that disciplined gross body, Panchendriya, Dashendriyas, disciplined waking state is called the Vishwam. That gross body which is equipped for identifying the experience from the objects only through the sensory system, that waking state which functions only through the dharma, and the combination of these two which is known as the Vishwam, put together These three parts put together is the representation of A in O. Akara. Akara is Akshara. That which doesn't Achayat. Achayate iti Achara. Which cannot have a Chaya. Achara. So, Prathama Achara. A is also Prathama Achara. And also, A is there in everything, everywhere. Whichever letter you pronounce, there is an A. A is everywhere. So, this waking state and this sensory system, this Vishwa is everywhere. In every sound, every syllable, every achara, everywhere, this is there, A is there. Is equal to A. You got it? So this is called A. Akara in the achara. A in the O. Prathama Shabda. So, the syllable in the sound. That which is first. Prathama. That which is first. That which is first for us to understand. That which is first for us to observe. That which is first for us to execute, practice what? This alertness, this gross body experience, this Vishwa is the first that we are to do for the purpose of transformation to the Atma. We have to be We have to start from that first letter A. Akshara. Firm. When that is firm, all other things are connected with A only. If I don't know how to tell A, I will not know how to tell Ka. I will not to tell how to know Ma. I won't know how to tell